Hey folks, how's it going? I'm Pete LeBlanc. I'm the media advisor at Antelope High School in Northern California, where I work with some great kids on the Titan Times newspaper, the Titanium yearbook, and also the Channel 5 Titan TV News. The good folks at NSPA have asked me to talk to you today and give you some tips of how to take your student publication from Pitiful to Pacemaker. I've got 5 tips for you today. Tip number 1, recruit good kids. Whether you're an advisor or even a student on staff, you got to get some good kids on your staff. I love sushi. I like to eat sushi about 2 or 3 times a week. I love preparing sushi, but any good sushi chef knows that they're only as good as the fish. And I kind of think the same way about student publications. You're only going to be as good as the students on staff. It takes a really special kind of kid to succeed in the publications environment. You've got to be dedicated and committed and all those buzzwords, but we also need to find students who are talented, and not just talented, but students who are also going to be open to criticism and working on improving at their craft pretty much every day. You've got to have a tough skin to be a good publication student and be open to all the criticism that's going to take place. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is to focus on 3 areas of improvement. You're just not going to be able to try to fix everything in 1 year. So try to get good at a few things rather than trying to do everything. Here at Antelope High School, during our first year in 2008-2009, our yearbook staff sat down and met and had a conversation about this. The 3 areas that the kids chose, which I think are the ones that have the most impact, were photography, theme development, and design. They focused on those 3 areas. It's not that they ignored the rest of the book, but that's where they really put their energy into and where we set our goals that year. I think you're going to find if you do just the 3 areas, you're going to have a little more success as you start out. That's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is to seek mentorship. What I mean when I say that is that you guys need to get out there and realize that there's a big journalism community out there. There's national conferences with sometimes with 4, 5, even 6,000 kids attending conferences sometime. That's just kind of the tip of the iceberg, though, to start the conferences. For example, our good friends at NSPA are sponsoring conferences this year. In November, we'll be in San Antonio, and in April, we'll be in San Francisco. There's lots of information about that online that you can find. But when you go to the conferences, take it further and really find mentors. There's people like me that we are out there and we want to help you. You can never have too many sets of eyes to look at the work you're doing or answer many of the questions that you're inevitably going to have when you start out on your publication. That's tip number 3. Tip number 4 is to find inspiration. The ideas are not just going to fall out of the sky. You have to search the world and find them, but they're out there. Okay. Study lots of different magazines, online publications. The great thing about what we do in our industry is that things are changing all the time, and the world is sort of this living, breathing textbook that you guys can take advantage of to keep up on current trends, study what different magazine publications are doing. There's lots of ways that you guys can keep up of what's going on in the world. You should not be sitting isolated in your classroom working on design or even your stories. Study the professionals. The answers are there of what we should be doing. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. All we need to do is customize our rims a little bit. That's tip number 4. Tip number 5 is don't forget about your audience. Sometimes we get a little carried away in getting a little worried about are we going to win a national award or are we not going to win a national award. Of course we want to strive for that, but in doing that, make sure we don't forget who we're producing our publications for, our students on campus. We still want to meet all of the award-winning criteria, but at the same time, don't be afraid to be innovative. Don't be afraid to try some different things. Don't be afraid to be contemporary and listen to what your audience wants in their publications. That's my last tip. I'm Pete LeBlanc here at Antelope High School. Thanks for watching.